Let's say
Okay, guys, we have a poll in the chat. Is Avatar: The Last Airbender an anime or not? Some of you may know there's a little bit of nuance to the question. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just an opinion. Both yes and no can be equally argued. Ooh, it's pretty close. 4v3. Pretty small
oh my
sample
god,
size though.
pretty small. I mean, I guess there's only a pretty small Sag. Sag. I would also like to open up. Maybe we could start. Maybe we have enough options to start a poll of what the new name for Ironclad Discord events should be. Um. Oh god. Oh, Brick Frog's winning. 83% for Brick Frog. That's crazy. I can't believe Brick Frog is getting that much heat.
Although on the other side, Brick Frog is also everybody's least favorite Bite Mason.
Yeah. Yeah. Brick Frog wishes he was Brick Frog.
Foundry is the name for Ironclad office hours. The
Foundry, that's a pretty
Ironclad
good name.
Foundry.
I was thinking Iron Chats. Anyone?
Iron Chats with Iron Chads.
Ironside Chats, dude. That's a great one. I dig Ironside Chats. That's cool. Yo, Brick Frog would totally admit it. Guys, he's already conceded that it will go to his head. He already made the concession. Forge chats, Ironside
Yeah, I mean,
chats, chewing the clad.
how can you vote for yes, but I won't admit it? This is his third poll in like 6 minutes. It's already gone to his head. The chat's Smoko. Ironclad Smoko.
Forge side chats, forging, something in the forge. What about in the kiln? Kiln, kiln talk. Around the forge. Stoking the fire. Stoking the conversation. Kiln convos. NPR. Hammer talk. um I don't know. I don't know. Well, in any case, I guess we should get down to business. Hey guys. Hello, 10 of you here. It's nice of you to come.
One of whom is
Another
Craigbot.
one of whom is Craigbot. Thanks for being here, Craigbot. Appreciate you. Um, yeah, another Ironclad, Forge side, Hammer time, Kiln chat. patent pending TM name to be announced. Yeah, so we just want to give you guys an update on what's going on and talk about a few of the developments that have happened in the last couple weeks. I guess the first thing that has kind of been a topic of discussion this week was that we released the airdrop sheet, spreadsheet for everybody to take a look. Top 888 Embers farmers can check out their allocation for the upcoming airdrop. And there was a couple people who noticed some discrepancies in the numbers or just like some stuff that they wanted clarification on, some stuff that didn't make sense. Dean reviewed the sheet that was made and has corrected for any weirdness. That is to say, go read the sheet again. Look at it, it's been updated, and there shouldn't be any like, I guess, everything should make sense. There was just a bit of weirdness with the um, with how the airdrop amounts scaled with Ember's amounts. Yeah, go look at the sheet again if you were one of the people who were wondering about the allocations or were thinking that your allocation didn't make sense. Everything should be corrected for now. So that's the first update. Um, yeah, so what's next? I want to talk about staking. So coming off the airdrop, as you hopefully know, staking will be live day one. The BitGet listing will be live day one. There will be staking on BitGet as well. But I want to talk about the ironclad staking, so on-chain staking, staking actually on the app. And when we announced this, I think 2 weeks ago, talking about all the features we're going to have once the token launches, we had initially introduced the idea of having two different staking pools. So one of them, you would stake it, you would receive real yield fees in the form of ETH and mode, and you could claim that ETH and mode and do whatever you want with it. Then the other option was that you could stake ICL into a relic, which compounds the ETH and mode fees that you would be getting, compounds it into more ICL, and then you would also earn oICL on top of that. That's adjusted for maturity. So the longer you have the relic, the more oICL you're going to be receiving on top. So that was the initial idea, having these two different pools, giving people the option of either compounding their fees into more ICL for people who really want to stack a lot of ICL, or for people who want to claim real yield and sell it or do whatever with it. Since then, we've had a discussion about simplifying like what we're offering, especially since we're doing oTokens. People might not be so familiar with oTokens. Simplifying our offering, simplifying the front end, making everything very easy for people. So now the plan is there will be one place to stake your ICL. So we're not doing the two different staking pools. We're not doing that anymore. There's going to be one place to stake. You will receive ETH and mode and oICL, and all of that is going to be maturity adjusted. So you stake into the staking pool and you slowly build up maturity, and you're going to be earning more fees and oICL relative to the people who have staked after you, obviously adjusted for your size. So yeah, there's going to be one place to stake. It's going to be very easy. You'll get ICL, you'll go on the thing, and you'll hit a button and you'll stake. Yuvi, anything to add there? Any color to shade in?
Not really. I guess I'll just I'll just emphasize that It simplifies our deployment, it simplifies our repeatability, it simplifies the experience for you guys. You just put your ICL in one place, um, and then literally everything will just go to that one stake position. All the mode dev drops will go back to you guys through that relic, and yeah, you never have to move your funds. You don't have to worry about anything. You just claim your rewards every time.
Totally. And yeah,
There's
I
no
mean,
car
yeah.
metaphor coming. Well, maybe later, but I've got none for now.
Let's save the car talk. It's early yet. That's late night. That's fireside chat business. Yeah, so yeah, this was something that we were thinking about originally as well. And I think through conversations with all of you in the community, like people, raising a totally valid point of like, people who are just getting on to just being introduced to Ironclad, them seeing two different staking pools. There's two different APRs, or there's an APR and an APY. One of them's getting OICL rewards. One of them, like they just it's not obvious what they're supposed to be doing. So with the staking pool, we want people who are just completely new, and especially like I'm hoping like the other thing the BitGet listing gives us, other than a really deep centralized exchange market and another place for people to stake ICL, taking more ICL off the market. The other thing it gives us is exposure to BitGet's massive user base. They're like a tier 2 exchange. They're pretty large. I think they're number 11 or number 12 in the world. So they have a whole user base of people who don't know what Ironclad is, and they're gonna see ICL on BitGet, and they're gonna be like, "What the hell's this?" It's a way smaller market cap, or will be, than anything else on BitGet in terms of staking. Like, well, if you look at the BitGet staking page, all of the tokens on there, it's like Atom, Solana, freaking, I don't know, like Polkadot or whatever. This is like it's a bunch of like super huge projects. So it's nice to put our name there, and reach a huge audience that doesn't know what we're up to. And so hopefully if they're willing to get on chain, if they're, people who use DeFi, they can just go and they won't have any questions about anything. Or at least fewer. So yeah, the staking pool is going to be baller, and it's really going to be the best deal, um, especially with oTokens. Getting into the staking pool and like having mercenary farmers, paying premiums to the treasury, which is going to be supporting liquidity, supporting the token. Um, Yeah, the staking pool, driving all that platform revenue to the staking pool, plus the dev drops and OICL and everything, getting in there early and racking up your maturity, is going to be extremely beneficial. I think, not financial advice, in my humble opinion. Um, so the maturity, the conditions are 6 month maturity. So once you're at 6 months, you max out, and the max boost is 1.5x. So you slowly increase your maturity every day. It's slowly increasing, and after 6 months, you're at a 1.5x boost, compared to someone who joins day one. Um, yeah, pretty neat. I guess that's all I wanted to say about staking. Um, Yeah, I agree, Equestrical. And there's actually going to be more than one place. BitGet has these two different. I honestly, like, I'm not like totally clear on what the differences between the offerings are, but they actually have two places you can stake your ICL on BitGet. Like, there's the regular staking thing, and then there's also this thing called Pool X, where it's just like a slightly different offering. But anyways, people on BitGet can stake and earn more ICL. And we're going to be front loading those incentives on BitGet as well. So tapering off over the course of a few months, and making sure that the APR is really high at the beginning, so everybody just like freaking takes their token, takes their takes their tokens and stakes them. Yes, exactly. On BitGet, only earning more ICL. Indeed. Indeed. Okay, staking. Yeah. Okay. The other thing, which is kind of unfortunate, and I know no one's gonna want to hear this, but our market maker on BitGet has had some health issues. Hey, what's up, Tonto? Nice to see you here. You're coming in at a bad time. Maybe I should switch the topic so I don't give Tonto the news right away. But our market maker on BitGet is having some health issues. He actually has appendicitis. Not to put his business out there, but no one knows who he is, so who cares? So let's all give him our prayers and wishes. It also means that the LGE is going to be delayed. I'm so sorry about that. It's another thing that's just out of our hands. It seems like there's been a bunch of stuff that it's kind of just been like not just forces that we can't control, have been just like kind of delaying our operations, which it's pretty frustrating. And technically we could launch Dex liquidity whenever, but it's kind of a question of, it's like, do we want to rush this out, or do we want to do we want to just launch a week or weeks before everything is in place and have a slightly worse launch, or do we want everything to be in place and like firing on all cylinders and actually give us more of a chance of having an extremely successful launch? Personally, I would rather wait a little bit and have the best launch possible, right? So that's what we're doing, and we want BitGet to be ready to go. We want the market to be up. Everything on our side is pretty much ready to go, but it's not really something we can control. So they've given us, they're keeping us updated, and it really shouldn't be too long of a delay. So I'm gonna keep you all updated, and I will get a hard date out of them by early next week, so we can actually set that, because I think we're owed that. So exactly, he's just so excited about the ICL launch that his body is like freaking out. He needs medical attention. That's how excited he is.
I don't even
Yeah.
think
If any,
you don't even
yeah,
need
go
an
ahead.
appendix, right? Like when it bursts, they
Yeah,
just get rid of it.
yeah.
They don't even do anything. I mean, they do something, but I don't think it's important.
Yes. Well, that's that. Sorry to keep you all waiting. But it's gonna be awesome. And maybe, just maybe, a miracle will happen. And the ETH ETF will launch and get 1 trillion of inflows. And everything will go to the moon on the exact day that ICL launches. So, it's not impossible.
There is a non-zero probability.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a non-zero probability that the doctor, the guy the doctor removes the guy's appendix. He he puts it
Sure.
somewhere. The appendix falls off the table, lands on lands on a stray spoon. The spoon bounces up in the air, hits the doctor's keyboard. The doctor's It's the button that buys $1 billion worth of ETH from BlackRock. The whole market pumps. The hospital goes bankrupt, buying
Cascading
buying ETH.
liquidations of all short
Yeah,
positions in every
it's a
market
Rube
ever.
Goldberg. Yeah, it's a Rube Goldberg that leads from this our market maker getting his appendix out to you know, global adoption of crypto.
Yeah, we
No,
should
no,
write
it
a blog
started. This is
about
office
the
hours, Grand Tonto.
butterfly effect.
That's the word I was looking for. Butterfly effect. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So it's not impossible. All right. Well, that's that. Staking. LGE slightly delayed. Um. Uh. I do want to maybe we can talk a little bit about the oTokens, and how awesome they are. Um. Yeah. I'd like to do that.
Does
I
everyone
also wanted.
understand how options tokens work?
Oh, Grand Tonto, we already talked about staking. Sorry, bro. Um. My good sir, I am sorry. The staking, let me recap it very quickly for you. I was drinking, okay? There's one staking pool, no compounding. It is a relic, so all the fees and the OIL is maturity adjusted, but it's one pool, and you're earning everything through that. Everything's maturity adjusted.
Yep, it's a
Yes,
1.5.
indeed.
You earn up to 1.5x based on maturity after 6 months, and yeah, literally 100% of everything that the protocol, all of the revenue streams will go back to that one position, including all of the random mode dev drops and stuff that we receive. We'll be passing that on to um, onto ICL stakers.
Yep. Stakers, you're getting it all, and that's actually a good sub segue into oTokens because the oTokens actually allow us to sustain a treasury, while being able to like service, like being able to give you guys everything, like um passing on, all the protocol activity to stakers is something that protocols can't usually do because they need, they need to sustain a treasury, they need to sustain liquidity. Um, you know, a treasury is needed for protocol operations. But with oTokens, we can, sustain our treasury in a really like programmatic way where, uh, you know, the mode that's being used to redeem oTokens for liquid ICL just goes straight into liquidity, and or supporting the token. So at the beginning, um, at the beginning, there's, liquidity is going to be a big need. We're going to, it's going to, building up liquidity quickly is very important. But I'm imagining a world where, several months down the road, um, in a perfect world, we have so much liquidity that it's actually maybe more in our best in our interests to just buy back ICL. Like we've got a couple several $1 million pools, which that's the dream. Um, so much liquidity that maybe we can even like entertain the idea of having an oracle for ICL. Um, maybe we want to just funnel some of that oToken revenue to buying back ICL. Maybe that's more impactful than adding to one of the existing liquidity pools. So, yeah, so that's kind of the idea. And like Yuvi said, if anyone is still totally unaware of how they work, I know everybody here is like kind of an OG, and you guys have been around, listening to us ramble on for a long time in different discords. You guys probably know what's going on, but if you have any questions, you can hop on stage. You can type it in the chat. Um, yes. Crickets. We need to get Corball up here to use his sound bar. We need some sound. What are those things called?
Gotta
Special
respect the
effects.
pump. The sound
Respect
bites.
the pump.
Wow, 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 wow.
Yeah.
Respect the pump.
I didn't say the word about. Dude, you should hear um I've lived with some Canadians that from like way out east, and it is literally like a boot. That's how they say it. Pretty crazy. They sound Irish. Kind of nuts. Comment, not sure if you can do anything about it, but the Turtle Club stuff for many of us is just gravy. Personally, would rather have the token to stake than give it to Turtle Club. So in the future, um, allowing us to opt out.
I don't really understand this. What does that
Hmm.
mean?
Not totally sure what you're. I think like Turtle Club is just a community that, yeah, you get bonus for being a member of. Yeah, so you'd rather have the token to stake. Um. Oh, I see. I think I know what you're saying. Are going to them are like magic beans. I see. Okay. Um. All right. Yeah. That's a good point. That's duly noted. Yeah. I mean, there isn't much we can do with them with that now. Uh. That's been decided on a while ago, but that is good feedback for like future you know token launches, future groups similar to Turtle Club. Um. Yeah, for sure. Um. We tried it. It was an experiment. You know, beans, gravy and beans. It's just gravy, and you're getting magic beans. I always think about recording listeners when I just start rattling off comments. Uh, listening to this fucking dribble. What else did I want to talk about? I wanted to mention. I don't know if you guys saw the Optimism announcement this week about the summer festival that's going on. But Optimism has been organizing a incentive program for this summer called Superfest. Um, and it's cool because Conclave, our team, some of our team, has designed that entire incentive strategy. So, um, it's it was a really 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 big project. Thank you, Watts, for the link. Super big project, a very very big like deal for us to land that. I've been working on that for the last like couple months with a couple other people on the team. Justin's obviously been like spearheading those efforts. Um, and yeah, it's been insanely stressful, but also really really cool. And although we weren't able to give Ironclad any of the incentives because there's an obvious conflict of interest there, um, it gives us incredible leverage moving forward because we have connected with, uh, you know, probably 9 out of every 10 top DeFi teams in the space, um, especially with LRTs, LSTs. Um, and yeah, we've been able to get in a room with a lot of really really big projects, um, and give them something like incentives. So like our BD reach has gone from from 0 to 100, or at least from 50 to 100. Um, and yeah, it just legitimizes us as an organization a lot. And Optimism mentioned our name in the announcement. Um, Anyways, just a really big project. It's going to be a really big program. Um, and it gets us in a lot of doors that we weren't in before. It gets us in a lot of rooms. So, yeah, that was cool. That's all I wanted to say about it.
BD is like a million times easier when you can approach teams and say, we have a bunch of incentives that we want you
Yeah,
to use strategically. And they're like, what do we have to do for it? And we've
yeah,
basically
totally.
drafted their proposal for them. And uh, yeah, it's cool because we just, it's more about like, how can we make the incentives super efficient as opposed to fighting for incentives?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was like there wasn't any really annoying governance process that had to be to be done, which was great. But obviously a lot of like politicking that was really annoying to do. Um, it definitely is easier when you're giving people money. Um, but the other thing is OP isn't bridgeable. So like it's a program where OP is the incentive token, and the program spans Optimism base, mode, and Fractal, but OP isn't bridgeable. So that is a really big challenge where you have to use we're using Merkle to like track positions and reward people on the Optimism mainnet. So like, sort of figuring that out is a big challenge. So parts of it were a lot easier than like your standard everybody submits a governance proposal and then there's a bunch of governance bureaucracy that happens. So that it was good to avoid that, but there was a lot of other really weird challenges that lost me years off my life. But yeah, pretty cool. Uh, and it's going to be kicking off soon, and that's really exciting. Um, and now, as far as codex and like chapter things go, we're already in a room with all these big teams, and we can go to them in terms of forming partnerships, in terms of collaborating on different projects. We can now go to them and be like, hey, remember us? We ran that giant incentive program. Um, Check out what we're building and let's collaborate. And we have leverage um, in those rooms for them to be like, oh yeah, these guys did a lot of work for us, and we know that they're a competent team. They're obviously smart, well-equipped people, um, and they are going to be giving us a lot more of their time than they would have. So that's the benefit that we see coming out of this program. Um, so it's all good. It's all good stuff. Um, yes, enticing them exactly, exactly. Yeah. But anyways, back to ironclad things. I think we kind of said everything we wanted to say. Um, UV, you got any cool stuff to? What have you been working on, dude? By the way, didn't your research papers, aren't they on like every top 10 list everywhere? I looked at the money. I looked at your money supply one, and I think it's number 2 in. I actually what was the report I'll sent. Um,
Yeah, the money market interest rate strategy made it to the top 10 on 2 different publications, and the money supply strategy made it to the top 10 on 3 different e-publications. Um, yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool.
dude, that's an understatement. Um, that's an understatement. Let me just
Yes.
drop this
And the
Top
best part is like
downloads for monetary policy.
the best part is that like it just comes up as like me and then independent researcher, and all the other, top tens are like university endorsed and all sorts of crazy stuff.
Dude, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm number two on this one. This
Number
top
2
one,
on monetary policy.
stock bond correlation has 1,000 downloads. Like that is so far beyond any other. It's like sitting at 1,097 downloads, and then number two paper, which is mine, is at 104 downloads.
It's crazy. We gotta
So
read that paper. It's gotta have some
probably
good
not
shit in
gonna
there.
clip number one. Yeah, probably not gonna clip number one anytime soon. But yeah, sitting at number two, which is cool.
So that one's for monetary policy. The other one that it's number 2 on is other econometric modeling, international financial markets, and foreign exchange topics. So those two topics, super cool. I never took econometrics because it's like so hard, and I was like, "Fuck that! I'm not gonna be a data scientist." So yeah, and the third one, another econometric modeling category. Anyways, huge congrats, man. I've been like uh sending it out as soon as you published it and announced it. Um, it's been such a weapon for, and I think Beavis was saying this earlier, where it's like, um, it legitimizes us more than like anything we've ever done, or anything they've ever done, or like in terms of being able to um put like our team's name via you on like research of this caliber. Like it's been such a weapon for like the BD team to be able to go into meetings with people and like let them know what we're up to. They're like, "Oh, stablecoins, that's cool." And it's like, and also check this out. We just, our head of DeFi just freaking designed like a new primitive, and every time their reaction is like, "Oh my god, this is like so legit." So, yeah, man, huge.
That's
Like,
really cool.
I don't even know how you did it. BH. I've
Yeah,
read
it
them
was
multiple times,
a lot of
and I guess every time I understand 1% more.
yeah, it was like a lot of yeah, it was a lot of research. I mean, the industry review stuff is like a lot of research, and they're all, protocols that we're all very familiar with, but then reading docs um, to understand the money supply theory of how everything's working, um, and then kind of assessing why things are good or bad decisions. Uh, yeah, that took a lot longer than I thought and hoped because
Mhm.
if someone's like, "Oh, liquidity," I'm like, "Yeah, I already know how liquidity works." But then I had to reread their docs again and again and again to kind of break the monetary policy down into controller language, and then identify inefficiencies in their system and mitigate those inefficiencies. So it was a cool experience, and I did it for two papers. So
Yeah,
yeah, I
can you speak
hope that
to like development progress at all? Is there anything you can share on that front?
yeah, absolutely.
As far as implementation?
For sure. So on the money supply on the money market side, we have a stablecoin strategy. So firstly our contract strategy is like it has variables, so shy of like tuning parameters. Um, the contract itself is complete. It's audited internally and externally. We've had a private security researcher conduct an audit. We've addressed all the findings. So it's super ready to go. We have a tune for stablecoin markets that we're pretty happy with. And I think we have a deployment meeting scheduled for maybe this week or next week. So you'll start to see the adaptive rates strategy deployed on stablecoin markets. I think we're going to deploy it to Glyph first, and then maybe Harbor. And yeah, like with the test suite that we wrote to allow for the tuning is like the simulation is very quick, so I can tune for like more volatile assets pretty quickly, and then hopefully we can get that out there. I did kind of have this I don't know, little idea that the the volatility of a particular market is typically reflected by its LTV ratio. So the LTV ratio is kind of the risk parameter that surfaces the volatility of an asset, and it's generally has some kind of correlation with the optimum utilization. So I think there's a world where I can configure the money market strategy to reference LTV in such a way that we it will basically generate its own tune based on the LTV value if each tuning parameter is a function of LTV. Uh, and so that means we could deploy the same strategy to every market, um, which would make scaling the primitive a lot faster, and probably more secure because there's, I don't know, less room for like button slips or whatever. But yeah, on the money
Yeah.
market side, we're a long way into it. On the stablecoin side, we're building the stablecoin infrastructure um, for the advanced CDP module. Um, and yeah, we haven't quite got to a point where we can start testing an interest rate strategy, but the actual architecture that is facilitating the stablecoin is yeah, it's pretty dope. Like it's something else. It's the ability to like risk isolate in this system is beyond any market competitor. So
Beyond my comprehension. But yeah. I
pretty
think
neat.
I understand enough where it's like, yeah, it does seem like a pretty 0 to 1 kind of moment. Yeah, and to your question, Grand Tonto, the Codex question, yeah, I mean, like, I think I understand what you're saying. Um, like, yes, I mean, chapters, are obviously going to be the first things integrated. Um, any instance of like finding the best sort of place, or the best like route for someone's assets is going to depend on like market conditions. Um, but yeah, I hope that kind of answers your question. But yeah, I mean, you know, uh, chapters are obviously like, how do I put it? They're obviously, you know, partner number one in terms of like integrating codex functionality. Like, a big part of the reason why um codex is compelling for us is that we can funnel like all of our chapter activity um to codex, or I guess vice versa, um is like boosting our implementations across different chains, um and driving more traffic towards them. So um yeah, short answer, yes. Yes. Well, um yeah, I don't really have anything else to say on the ironclad side. um Thanks for coming, everyone. Happy Thursday. We'll see you in a couple weeks. I will keep you guys as updated as possible in terms of like the LGE progress and how our market maker is doing and everything like that. Yeah, we're on our way. We are on our way. And I would like to have another blog post released next week. I'm going to be drafting that up this weekend, maybe tomorrow. So I was thinking, and actually maybe this is a good thing to crowdsource. I was thinking diving into staking like we done this call, just kind of summarizing what we were saying, and talking a little bit more about how powerful oTokens are and why we think they're a good idea. But what, if what would you guys like to see in terms of a blog post? After the first one, I feel like a lot of people were wondering about it, getting more information, or I guess a little bit new to oTokens and these different ideas like relics and things like this. So I wanted to provide more sort of educational stuff about that, more writing about the staking and the oTokens. But apart from those two things, is there anything that you want us to be writing about? And the other thing, here's me closing out once again. The other thing is, I am trying to, no promises, but I'm trying to get you all a tutorial for oToken redemption and for staking before we actually go live with that stuff. So no promises. I've been asking a lot of the backend team. Um, so, but I would like to at least within the same week of launch, having a tutorial for everybody to make it extremely easy and easy to follow. So maybe that will be after we launch. There's a small possibility of it being before, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. And yeah, we hear your comments about concerns about being too confused. So everything will be made as simple as possible. What about the 1% mode lending? What are you talking about?
What about the 1% mode lending?
1% mode lending. Ooh, Null has an idea. May not have been you. Okay. All right. Well, anyways, with that, thanks for coming. And I hope you all have a wonderful week. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye, all.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great
Happy to hear
day,
my mic was
afternoon,
there.
evening.
Yes. Closing out. In 3, 2.
Bye, everybody.